Good morning, Tallahassee. It's time to wake up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Here's WarChant.com's Aslan Hajavandi and Corey Clark.
Let's do a radio show. Wake up War Chant, 97.9 ESPN Radio in Tallahassee. You already know our names, but just for clarification, I'm Aslan. The other guy is Corey. I used to say alongside Corey Clark, but technically, Corey, we're not really alongside. We're facing.
Staring at each other. Yeah.
So I don't even know, like, adjacent.
Across the glass.
Adjacently seated.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Clark, the show brought to you by For the Table Hospitality, and there are 3 great locations over in the College Town District, Madison Social, Central, and Township. Do go ahead and check them out. Corey, man, we're making it over the hump, man. How are you, brother?
I'm good, buddy. I'm good. I'm living the dream, as always.
Yeah, well, no, you're not.
What are we, at Wednesday now?
You're not exactly living the dream. If you were living the dream, you'd be Irish O'Fell. You'd be out in Amelia Island right now. That's living the dream.
Plush Ritz-Carlton, Amelia Island. By the way, I don't think you've ever been to that.
I never have.
It is perverse that a college, institutions of higher learning have their meetings at a place like that. That
Ritz-Carlton on the water?
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They have this soap. It's like sea crystals, salt crystals that you rub in your hands while you're washing them. Because I do wash my hands sometimes, people. Yeah. And it's the most incredible thing you've ever felt in your life. And that's just in a random lobby bathroom. Yeah. I mean, the hotel is nuts. It must cost them $100,000 easy, $150,000 to put these people up for a night, all these administrators and from each and every school, and to fly them down there. Again, we can't pay the players. There's not enough money to go around to do that, but we can spend. We can spend. Tell me why they can't do it at a Hampton Inn in Jacksonville. Why can't they just teleconference? You can't FaceTime. It's 2018.
Yeah, but still, sometimes you need to get together, put skin on skin, look a man in his eye.
You need to get together so Roy Williams can play golf.
Yeah. So you want to pay everybody, huh? You want to just pay these kids everything, right?
No, not really. I think the ones that deserve it should get paid. The ones that don't shouldn't. I think a scholarship is good enough for most of them.
I agree.
I think the Derwin Jameses of the world and people that have jerseys being sold, wearing their jerseys on their backs, and they're not wearing it because of Leon Washington. They're wearing it because of Derwin James, that Derwin James should get a cut of that. No offense to Leon Washington because he was awesome. He was a really good running back, but people that are in the stands today wearing number 3 are wearing it for Derwin James.
Is there any sport in this country, not to sound cheesy, that is more about the soul of the game, the soul of the spirit of competition than college football?
Explain yourself.
All right, good. So we talked about this the other day. If I don't make sense, I want you to talk to me about it. I don't want to say maybe there's less fair weather fans when it comes to college football, but is there not something that makes people be so passionate about, listen, college football will succeed whether or not we're paying these kids $100,000 on the side or not. But is there not still some sort of like kabuki theater going on where we need to still believe there is a sense of amateurism? And I don't know, there's still a belief that these guys went to the same place that you went for 4 years, sat in the same classrooms that you sat for 4 years, went to the same bars that you went to for 4 years, or in my case, 5 years. There's some sort of, I don't know, there's an essence and soul to familiarity and camaraderie of, listen, man, these guys went to the same institution I did. They're representing me, and they're I don't know. There's something about that to me that is unique in college athletics, especially college football, more so than college basketball, especially with the whole one and done thing. That when we start paying these guys, and when you do see a kid rolling up in an Escalade on rims, you kind of roll your eyes. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to see that.
Let's be honest. There's campuses around this country where you see that anyway. Yeah. On the down low, kids rolling up on an Escalator.
On the DL?
What kind of summer job did he get?
Right.
But I mean, man, the sanctity of college athletics went out the window if there ever was any, it went out the window a long, long time ago. And again, Florida State just lost a coach to a $75 million contract.
Big dollars. Meanwhile,
Jameis Winston didn't make a red cent over the table anyway, while he was here at Florida State winning national championships.
Well, that's what everyone signed up for. This is the game that this is the structure that's in place. It's been in place forever.
Just because it's been in place forever doesn't mean it's the right structure. It was implemented when Red Grange was a college athlete. They haven't made any substantial changes to college athletics and to college football in decades. Meanwhile, the sport, you wouldn't even recognize the sport from the 1960s or 70s. It's a completely different sport with a completely different money structure. I mean, the Big 12 was doling out $41 million to each school just from TV contracts. $41 million. And it's all football.
Big
95% of it is football. $41 million. The Pac-12, I think, is $41. But so, I mean, it's just the sport has changed so much, and it doesn't seem like the compensation, it hasn't changed at all.
That's never been a part about it, though. Has it ever been part of it? So, the whole time, even in the 1940s, this is going to be an equal partnership between the universities, the coaching staffs, and the players. It's never been about an equal partnership.
But back in let's say 1976, when Bobby Bowden signed his contract to coach at Florida State, I think he signed for $85,000. Well, that's what a dentist was making. Now Willie Taggart makes $5 million a year. The money has gotten so outrageous.
Birch Orthodontics, Heather Birch not walking away with
maybe. Hey, maybe she is with the money we're funneling to her from Seminole Headlines. She probably is. But so that has skyrocketed 20-fold, 100-fold. Meanwhile, the compensation for the players is almost the exact same. To me, that's just where it doesn't even.
Well, tuition costs a lot more than it did back then. Raising rates of tuition.
I mean,
the amount of resources these kids are getting in terms of the tutors, in terms of the physical therapists, in terms of the nutritionists they have, in terms of
I mean,
the weight training programs.
There are. It is a better deal for them too. But if I thought that these football powerhouses, these football pipelines, really truly cared about the academics side of things, they're by and large they're just trying to keep them eligible.
Right.
That's all it is. Yep. They're trying to keep them eligible to win football games. So. Because winning football games creates a lot of revenue, a ton of revenue, and the people that actually win the football games don't get much of the revenue. But then again, I'm not smart enough to know how you'd even do it. Well, Willie Taggart actually, in Amelia Island Tuesday, folks. This is Wednesday morning at 6:08. I can't believe I'm up. I couldn't believe that Celtics-Cavs game last night. Oh boy. Anyway, so he said to the reporters when he was asked about it, he said that he does think that they should be paid, but he thinks the money should be in a trust fund and they get it when they graduate.
Amen. Hashtag Team Taggart. I'm all about that. I'm all about that.
I don't believe in that necessarily. But I do. I mean, even Willie Taggart thinks that they should be paid because the compensation that coaches are getting compared to what the players are getting. Because, the players, how many of the last 3 starting lineups at Florida State are making money playing football now? Would you say 20%?
If that. Yeah.
How many? They got 10 guys drafted out of probably 35 or 40 over the last 3 years.
Jeez. Yeah.
10, 12.
I ain't 2014 anymore, brother, huh?
Right. So what I'm saying, though, is that's 75% of those guys that are struggling for money now. Meanwhile, the guy that they helped win all those games just signed a $75 million contract. Maybe he's paying them. Maybe he isn't. But maybe he could cut them a check once a month for $2,000. But I mean, that's just, to me, that's where the perversion is that the guy that coaches them is allowed to. There's no cap on what he can make. There's no cap on what Nick Saban can make. But there's a cap on what the players that actually play can make. In the NFL, in the NFL, there's a cap on what they can make, but it's $22 million or whatever it is.
Like, listen, it'd be super tough if Derwin James is seated right next to you, and for me to look at him and be like, I don't think you deserved anything. I don't think. And this is the perverse part right here, probably, and I'm guilty of it. Just what have you produced? But then you really start going down a wormhole when you start trying to link performance to what these kids are going to get paid. 3 years. What Derwin James do for Florida State? And that sounds horrible. I'm not trying to be that guy right now.
Derwin James used Telvin Smith.
I mean, Telvin Smith won this place a national championship. I'd rather give Telvin Smith money than Derwin James.
What would he get? I don't even know how to go about paying him. I don't know. I don't know if you. My thought,
I like tying things to graduation, not because I believe in education, which I do. I mean, I have a college degree, and I still think that we really, when we have these conversations, really crap all over the importance of having a college degree. Sure.
But it depends on what you're doing with that degree, and was that a degree just the easiest course available to stay eligible, or are you really going to try to pursue something in that degree? Because many times it's.
How many people have jobs that had nothing to do with what they majored in college?
I don't know.
A lot of folks. So, all right, you got the degree. It shows that you're responsible. You can go to class. You can show up and do well enough. My thing is, I mean, this whole, the one and done thing, whatever it's done to basketball, I think it's ruined college basketball to a large degree. These guys that show up, these 17-year-old kids on February talking about, I'm going to spend the next 3 years at, University of Oregon. Man, get out of here with that. I mean, that to me, I hate this whole thing that you're only going to have a kid for 3 years. Like, so, I mean, to me, tying it to graduations, to me, it's not so much tying it to graduation, but it's like making these kids stick around and build something. I mean, there's something that was built here before they arrived. It shouldn't be, I'm just going to show up, have a cup of coffee, try to hang on to the coattails and keep it moving along.
Well, yeah, but, I mean, Jameis was here for 3 years. You could say he built something.
He won a national That's the thing. Then where do you get into... I'm fine with that, though, because you left something, you rebuilt, you helped rebuild something.
So
you
think
reset the
if
standard.
you're going to compensate it should have to do with the on-field production.
That's terrible, though. There's no way you can do that, but that's my
no,
terrible
there's
take.
not. I don't, and I don't know how to. I really don't know how to do it. I mean, I don't know how you would even start about getting paid.
I like the idea of a trust fund thing that Willie's talking about.
But who gets it? Like, why would AJ Westbrook get as much money as Cam Akers? Like, how do you divvy that up?
Yeah.
Like, that's something that all the pay-for-play people, and I think I'm on that. I think I'm in that boat, but I'm not 100% convinced I'm in that boat because I just don't understand how it would work. Do they all get the same amount? Yeah. Because that doesn't seem fair.
Well, everybody gets the same amount.
Isn't that socialism?
Oh. Oh, wow.
Just saying, folks. Like, you can't tell me that whoever,
Adam Torres, who's on scholarship here
or
for
Dan
5
Hicks
years,
would have deserved the same check that Jameis Winston and Devontae Freeman got. It just isn't. That's not fair. So, is it fair, or is it everybody gets the same cut of a check of this kitty that for the players fund, and then when they graduate, they get their share? So, I don't know if it's tied to on-field performance. I don't know if it's tied to merchandise sales.
I don't know, but I'm more. It's more palatable to me if it's like, all right, you show up for 4 years. You either get a degree or you play for 4 years. And then I think they should maybe even make it to where the more years you play, the more vested you are in your sort of your trust fund or whatever. If you're like a fifth-year senior, then you should probably get a little bit more money, even if you haven't produced. Like I would give that sort of concession. I think we need to encourage the kids to stick around. But then, people are talking about, well, these kids only have a finite amount of time to make money. As soon as they step on a college campus, their clock is running in terms of like their peak performance. So why hold these kids back?
Where does the money come from? I mean, I know there's a lot of money to circulate, but who are you taking it away from? The coaches? I would be 100% fine with that. If right now there was a czar in the NCAA and said, hey, folks, we've been capping what the players can make at just scholarships and books for the last 100 years. Now we're capping what you can make. $3 million is the max you can make as a head coach in college football. If you want to make more than that, go try to find one of those 30 jobs in the NFL because we can't do this anymore. It's not sustainable, and it's not. Yeah. It's not. TV, the way TV is going now with everybody cutting cords, that money is going to start drying up a little bit. It's just going to. And when that happens, how are these schools going to afford to pay? I mean, Nick Saban's his own entity because that's just a whole different deal. But how are these schools going to end up, Florida State going to pay $6 million to keep Willie Taggart around? Or Clemson pay $9 million to keep Dabo around? It's not feasible. And so I don't know where that money would come from. But I do think there's money there to be spent. And maybe that means that the golf team can't travel to Hawaii for a preseason tournament. Because they get to do that because of the football team. Yeah. The tennis team gets to go play in Puerto Rico because of the football team. The softball team gets to travel to wherever they get to travel. They'll go play road games in Arizona, which spending tens of thousands of dollars to go do that. Well, sorry, those days are over. You still get to have a team, obviously. We're still going to pay for your scholarships. But, the money is being made by this football team, and a lot of it is going to start going back to the football team. Because as it is now, the football team basically supports all of it.
They're the bank.
All of it.
They're the money revenue. They're the generators.
But, then is that really what we want either? See, I talk out of both sides of my mouth because I think it's cool that these other teams get to have scholarships. You get to have a soccer player on scholarship and a softball player and a tennis player and a golfer. They all get to be on scholarship because of the football team, because of all the money they've made. And it's cool that they get to do that. They get to go to school for free or
I don't think you're really talking out the side of your mouth of that. I mean, at the end of the day, football's still going to generate that money. I don't think you need to take it away. Again, I guess maybe to your point, where is this money coming from? I think that probably
got to take it from somewhere, though. Cap
the coaches, make the whole staff. You don't have to maybe say the head coach, but coaching staffs, they're capped at the amount of people they can have on staff. Right now, they have 10 full time. Yeah. Well, then you got to make your money kind of stretch and last through.
Cap it at $7 million for an entire staff.
Oh, that'd be beautiful, right?
Then Taggart makes $3.5 million. The other 9 split $400,000 between them. That's still a good living.
Ooh,
that's still a good living.
Look at that quick math.
Hey, man, that's how I roll.
Did you have this ready?
That's how I roll.
Let's roll along. Another segment coming up. It's 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Wake Up War Champ. Come right back after this.
WarChant.com is the ultimate inside source for FSU football and recruiting. And now you can get in on the action for free for an entire month. WarChant.com is offering a risk-free 30-day trial subscription. Get full access to the #1 website covering the Seminoles just by entering the promo code WarChant30. That's WarChant30. Sign up and get in on the world's most active FSU message boards. Receive breaking news, stories from our award-winning staff, plus get exclusive interviews and videos. Just enter the promo code WarChant30. WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
I'm Aslan. He's Corey. This is Wake Up or Chant. It's 97.9 ESPN Radio in Tallahassee. Show brought to you by For the Table Hospitality. All right, Corey, couple housekeeping items. I finally said it right. Housekeeping. I usually would say like house cleaning. First off, shout out to YouTube listener Tommy Guns with a Z, pointed out to us the other day. I meant to give him a shout out. The Jalen was actually committed to USC. He visited USC and Washington.
Oh, all right.
So I don't know why Rivals
didn't say, you didn't have that. You gave us bad information.
Well, I'm saying, I don't know. I didn't even really fact check Tommy, but Tommy said it with such bold tenacity in his YouTube post that I'm just going to go ahead and run up the flagpole.
Well, there we go. So I was right? I knew USC was a big player in there.
I think we did.
And Pruitt was the main reason he came aboard.
Yeah. Also, our friends in Jefferson County, my geography is terrible. Apparently, Jefferson County is the next county over. They're 15 miles or so away from us. Somebody tweeted at that and was like, come on, guys. As if we're geography majors.
Yeah, who knows that kind of stuff?
We're not. We're just simple men. Let me give that guy a shout out. Terrible radio. Casey Kidd. Thanks, Casey.
CK.
C Kizzle.
Yeah.
And also the person who's trying to spearhead this entire process of getting the good folks in Jefferson County a booster program is actually a female. And I erroneously assumed that it was a man.
Well,
because hashtag gender roles.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lady who's trying to get this going. And apparently I think they're up to 8 people now.
Oh, man, we're real close.
No thanks to us, though. This is, I think, totally organic grassroots of what she's been able to accomplish.
Right.
So, come on, 2 more people. Jefferson County. I don't even know a town in Jefferson County, but whoever's out there. I don't think so. I don't know.
Well, I'm asking you. You don't know. We'll ask Casey Kidd.
Yeah, Casey, what's
Casey
going
knows.
on? I said give us a call on our callback line. Guess what, Corey? Got another person who called and left a message. We're up to 3.
Holy moly.
Man, we're
Holy
cooking.
moly. It's like my voicemail.
We are cooking with gas now. Again, that phone number, by the way, in case you forgot, folks. It's 850. Yeah, I did. That's right. 850-792-5730. You call it. You can script out your entire response. You can write it out so you can sound really
You can record a song.
And then you leave the message. And then we'll play it. Right here
By
on
the
radio.
way, I talked to, he's not going to care, Tim Linnefelt.
Okay.
Did the same exact thing that you did.
Oh, T-Lins? All right.
He wrote a song for a girl, but the difference was he played it for her in front of her at her house.
Yeah. Oh, look at Tim coming in hot.
Yep. And he said it didn't work out either.
Yeah.
I was like, he's like, yeah, it's kind of embarrassing to talk about. And I go, Aslan was getting the sweats when he was talking about it. He's like, well, it wasn't that embarrassing. I was like, so what? How did you want it to play out? Did you think she was going to like just jump on you and kiss you right then? He's like, I'm not real sure. I hadn't thought about that. I go, what did she say? And she goes, well, she was nice about it. And I'm like, man, what an awkward position to put someone in. To play them a song when they're obviously not that into you. But then they have to be like, I mean, it was nice for you to record a song. It's a little creepy to write a song about someone, but to play it in front of them.
You have a lot of sympathy for women in these situations. You mentioned something a few months ago, like, oh, poor women. Like when women have to reject men because we're so dumb and we can't pick up signs. Like
100%.
How horrifying is it for a woman to tell a guy, sorry, I'm not interested?
Especially like a nice guy that's
they take
actually
pleasure
trying.
in that, some of them.
I think some of them, it can be
souls.
really awkward.
No, I'm kidding.
It can be really, really awkward. And that certainly must have been a very awkward moment. Tim's not probably going to appreciate that.
Whatever, he's married now, so
but also like you, he had dated her a little bit, and she was going to college, so that's why he wrote her a song before she went off to college.
Kindred souls, Tim.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I was like, Aslan was a little baby. He just put it he made a tape and put it in some box with books. You manned up and played it in front of her.
Oh man!
So yeah, it never even dawned on me. I'm not musical, so maybe that's why I could have written a poem, I guess, to someone.
And well, the thing is, sadly enough, I mean, at that age, I'd had such bad experience in getting flowers for girls. And I'm like, man, I'm sick of spending all this money on flowers and getting nothing. So I'm just going to make a song. It's a lot more better. Economical. Still to this day, I think the one girl that I dated in Mississippi, I got her flowers for Valentine's Day and she loved them. Otherwise, any girl I've tried to impress by getting her flowers, it's never worked. Ever. And women love flowers. Never.
They do. So they just don't love you. Those women. There's a woman out there for everyone.
Just one?
Women, multiple women.
Maybe she's over in like Bali or something.
So you got to find one and write her a song.
That's all I have to do? It's that piece of a cake, huh?
He couldn't remember the name of his. Can you remember the name of yours?
No, I didn't. There wasn't a title to it.
It was Untitled? Untitled Love Song?
The Black Album.
Parentheses.
Because my cold,
sweet Becky
heart. All right.
Sorry to bring that up again. So, yeah, people, you can leave a message on that phone number and tell us how awesome we are.
Yeah, so we're doing really well, man. We're picking up the steam, man. We're chugging along. Things are going well. I want to talk a little about this real quick. I don't know if I've seen a lot of these sort of, I don't know if it's been tweets or whatever, but a lot of the guys on the team, mainly Big Ben guys, have been going from school to school, talking to the children. I think like somebody went to Leroy. Is it Leroy Smith or Leroy? It's Leroy Smith, right? Leroy Butler. Yeah. Is it Leroy Butler or Leroy Butler?
I always call him Leroy Butler, but I guess it could be Leroy Butler.
Yeah.
Leroy. Maybe the R is capitalized?
No, I don't think it is for either of them, so I always call him Leroy or Leroy. Sorry. Just screwed that up for everybody at home.
It's all right.
But yeah, I mean, what I kind of would flash to me, and I don't know if we're talking about this guy enough, although we mentioned him the other day. Like I'm seeing it's a bunch of it's usually the Big Ben guys. It's been like Jonathan Vickers, Chris Dixon, Cedric Wood, Janarius Robinson, but then DeMarcus Christmas keeps popping up in all these photos. And I know Cam Akers went back to Mississippi. I saw his high school football coach, Judd Boswell. Dude, you love Judd, but I think I need to get like you and Judd to do a podcast. It'd be killer.
Why?
He's just the man.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's just no nonsense guy. He's all good. Right. Maybe I can get him on the show to talk about Cam one day.
You should. That would be interesting. We should do that.
Get high school coaches to talk
about
especially
during the summer, man. What else are we going to do? I'll talk to a guy we can talk to him for an hour. I don't care.
How cool is that, though, that a guy like DeMarcus Christmas, I mean, he's fifth-year senior. I'm pretty sure he's a fifth-year senior.
He's definitely a senior.
Yeah. I mean, everybody else has gone home, which is fine. I'm not shaming anybody for going home. I'd go home, too, if I was a kid. You just went through 15 spring practices and had to do finals just like everybody else. But the fact that he's, like, sticking around and doing this. This guy's he's a special kid, man.
That's neat. And, you see this a lot, man. This people that come to Florida State that aren't from Tallahassee, obviously. Most people aren't. They go to Florida State, certainly on the football team, and then they just fall in love with the place, and they actually do become a part of the community, and so that's always neat to see when they take ownership of not ownership, that's not the right phrase, but when they
realize it's more than just playing on Saturdays.
Yeah, and it's their community. They're not because sometimes at these football powerhouses you just become insulated. Well, I mean they do insulate you. They give you your own dorm. They give you your own
car
palace.
Driver.
Your own valet. Where you that's where you go. That's the only place you see in your city. But so it's cool when people really kind of become a part of the fabric of the community. And Maven Saunders was really great about that. He's not here anymore. He transferred to where did he transfer to? Kansas, maybe, which is crazy.
That sounds about right.
I mean, you can't transfer to Kansas to play football. But he was great in the community, just terrific in the community, working at elementary schools. And those stories, quite frankly, don't get told enough, and they should.
Well, we tried to when they did the whole.
No, we do, but nationally, for sure, a place like War Chant, the Tallahassee Democrat, we're going to tell those stories because we know people like reading them. But I think the way the national media has become, all they concentrate on is the negative, and there really are so many positive stories in college athletics, not just football, but across the board with people doing awesome stuff.
He went to Kansas. You're correct.
Maven, man.
Look at you, man.
I never got to use "That's so Maven" for a touchdown. I that was going to be my tweet. It was going to be awesome, and I don't think he ever caught a touchdown pass. Not one that mattered anyway, so I never really got to tweet "That's so Maven."
Maybe that's what we'll do next week. We'll just go player by player, and we'll just let you go total Chris Berman and give everybody
a pun.
Yeah,
okay, I can do that.
All right, we'll do that. Let's step aside for a break. When we come back, I guess apparently this has been known news to everybody, but I learned about it for the first time yesterday, and I can't believe we're doing this. We'll talk about it next. It's Wake Up War Chant, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
You're locked in to Wake Up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's 97.9 ESPN Radio. It's Wake Up War Chant. WarChant.com. Hop on over there. Get your free 30-day trial. Use the promo code WarChant30. You can read columns from Irish O'Fell, our director, or actually I'm the director of digital media. He's our managing editor, and then we have our senior columnist, senior writer, senior all-around good dude. Just not the
senior boss.
Oh, there we go. Put that on the business card. Corey Clark, he joins me, as always, right here on Wake Up War Chant. All right, Corey, so I knew there was a future date that Florida State was going to dance with Boise State. Mm-hmm. So 2019, Florida State's opening up with Boise in Jacksonville?
Yeah, apparently.
And then Florida State's going to go to Boise in 2020?
Is that true?
I think that's how it's working.
All right. Well, there you go.
How is that? What?
Corey's not going to Boise. I've been there once. That was enough.
And then I love how all these people get all high and mighty on the tribal council. Sorry, don't want to degrade the customer base.
What are you doing?
Oh, man, it'll be so awesome. It's so beautiful in Boise. Yeah, you and the other 127 people that want to go to Boise can enjoy Boise. Why are we going to Boise? I mean, if you want to do a home and home, okay. Like, I don't know, Jacksonville, not to, alienate our friends in Duval County. But then again, I have not been to, I really shouldn't say anything because I've not been to former Alltel Stadium since
the house
Ducote Fag
the house
that
X-Lee built.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
I haven't been there since Ducote Fag ripped out Nick Saban's heart, and he's never been the same after that.
Right. How did Saban do after that? Did that kind of pummeled the program, didn't it? Like they lost to Florida State, and then it's like, oh boy, I mean, it was a crater. Did he ever get out of it?
I think eventually, with some hard work and
Alabama became good again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I haven't been paying attention. I just assumed they were always losing, going 7-6 every year.
I mean, back to my whole thing talking about the soul of the sport. I don't like these neutral site games. No offense, I'm just going to get everybody mad today. I think Mercedes-Benz Stadium is the most overrated architectural.
What is this now? What are we doing here? No, I don't disagree with you. But what does that have to do with Florida State playing Boise?
All these neutral site games. Just play them on campus.
But you're just attacking the neutral sites. You're attacking the stadiums. You're not. What's with the soul of the game?
Because you should play college games on college campuses.
Well, all right. You can have that opinion without taking a shot at the Pearl of Atlanta.
I do like the roof. The way it looks on the outside. But on the inside, it's very underwhelming.
I don't think it was working either, which didn't help.
No, it still hasn't worked, no.
So that hasn't helped. I mean, it's an all right stadium. For $2 billion or whatever it costs, you'd have thought it had been a little cooler than that. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're pretty cool. I think I like them. If the other option is that you're just not going to get games like that, then I would rather have the neutral site games. Because you're not going to get – Florida State and Alabama probably aren't going to do a home and home. No, number one, why would Florida State want to play Alabama 2 years in a row? But Alabama's not going to go to Florida State. That's just not what they only get a finite number of non-conference games. They're not going to spend one on a game where their fans can only get 5,000 tickets.
And their city's not. Yeah, they're not going to get a large cut.
Right. So they're not going to do it. So if you want to see Michigan, Florida, although nobody wanted to see that game last year, what a eyesore that was. But those kind of games, doesn't Miami play someone this year like a weird opener? Look that up.
Yes, sir.
Research.
Yes, sir, boss.
Research. Yes. Crack researcher. But yeah, so if you want those kind of cool matchups,
they got LSU.
Yeah, there you go.
That's cool.
Yeah, where are they playing?
Stand by. They are playing at AT&T Stadium, Jerry's World.
So I'm saying, man, you couldn't have that game.
Miami doesn't. I mean, Miami plays at a neutral site every other week, anyways. Bums.
So you couldn't have that game if you were just doing, because they're not going to do home and home. LSU's not going to go to Miami. The finances of the sport now dictate that teams can't afford to do that. They just don't do it. So that's the only way you get them now.
2020, Florida State is opening at the Pearl against West Virginia.
So they're not opening with Boise.
But they're going to play Boise week 3 at Boise.
See, to me, that's weird. I don't know why Florida State's going on the road to play at Boise State. That deal was made way back when.
Was that a Spetman deal?
Yeah. I feel like that's something you could get out of, because that makes no sense for the Florida State fan base to do that. All credit to Boise. They're a nice program. They've accomplished plenty in the last decade and a half. They're not on the level of Florida State, and Florida State doesn't need to be playing at Boise, because you're right. For about 500 Florida State fans, that'll be really cool to be out there in Idaho. It's a really pretty campus. It's a blue field, all that stuff. It'll be really neat and novel, but only 500 people are going to go.
What if Willie wears makes the team wear like the aqua basketball Seminole Heritage jerseys on the
and
blue
then
turf.
like they do for basketball.
It's kind of camouflage.
It's
kind of camouflage. And Nooney just Nooney won't be there in 2020. He'll be there. DJ Matthews. Well, maybe DJ Matthews might even be gone. Nobody will be around in 2020.
Yeah, because they did. DJ's a sophomore, although he didn't play at all last year. I don't know if you realize that. So whoever's
tell
around,
that to Southern Miss.
Yeah,
tell that to Delaware State. They felt
point.
them.
Yeah, they did. So that'd be cool if they wore those the blue jerseys and then they just got lost in the. I mean, every pass would be there's somebody celebrating in the end zone. Yeah, be like a green screen.
I mean, these are the things that there needs to be grown-up conversations to figure out solutions, because I know Nick Saban, that's the one thing he's talked about, is that they need to just stick to playing Power 5 teams. Like, Power 5 teams need to play Power 5 teams. They shouldn't be playing D-double. I know Jimbo's whole thing was, we got to help these teams out. If we don't give them the payday, then they're going to go away, and then football dies, and blah, blah, blah.
That's not. By the way, that's not true. Those teams can still have, those universities can still have teams. They can still field teams. They just can't afford
nice, cool jerseys that they're getting from that payday.
I mean, you can't. Scholarship numbers get limited. But that's the reality of life, man. It just sucks. So you'll have to have more walk-ons, but you still get to live the dream of playing college football.
I mean,
that's how it's gonna. That's how it will end up being. Jimbo's wrong. That those schools are going to get just further and further separated from the haves.
Because I'm going on a whole rant here now, and probably none of it's going to make sense. Here we go. I need my own air horn. I was watching highlights of James Blackman, my dude.
Jay Blacks.
ACC Network did like a whole mashup of him. Like, it was crazy. It was like the best of James Blackman from the 2017 season, ACC Digital Network on YouTube. It's like a 9-minute montage of his greatness. One pass from the Boston College game.
So, did they show a pass from the Boston College game? I don't remember that one.
But they show him just, golly, like, what am I being a jerk? Jimbo's running play action on the goal line, up 40 points in the first half on Delaware State. What a jerk. Or he was gone for Delaware State?
No. Yeah, he was.
He was.
Yeah, so you're calling Randy
Odell.
Sanders.
Sorry, Randy and Odell. Yeah, can we have some mercy on these guys?
No, it wasn't Delaware State. He was there for Delaware State. It was, who'd they play? Was it Louisiana Monroe?
Oh, yeah, that was that one. Sorry, yeah, he was there for that.
So Jimbo was there for
Jimbo.
that.
But I've always found it so weird because, I don't know, I guess I'm obviously a different fan than most people. Like, I love my alma mater, and I always want to see Florida State do well. But I'm always curious the people who can cheer really loud when a team scores a touchdown to go up 56-0 on another team. Like, it's such a hollow cheer. Like, they're showing the highlights of James Blackman throwing touchdowns, going up 42-0 on Delaware State. And, like, there's still that small pop that you can hear on the TV broadcast when people are cheering a touchdown. It's like, those are the worst. It reminds me of like minor league baseball almost. Like, minor league baseball is such a lonely, sad sport. And then when these teams roll on D-double or 1AA or what FCS teams or whatever, and like people like still cheering and getting crazy. Like, for what? Why are we here right now? I know this is something that you've always like talked about. Like, what's the point of these games? But I mean, I don't know. I'd rather see obviously a neutral site game against a Power 5 team than play a home game against, a lousy opponent.
I hate those games. I hate them. This year, who do they play this year? They have a bad one. They have a bad one this year too. I know they got Northern Illinois, maybe Samford.
Samford, correct.
But they don't have anybody that second to last week of the season, do they? Like
no,
they have?
No, they don't. There's no bye. Actually, there is no bye week before the Gator
We should
game.
probably know the schedule more than we do since we're on Wake Up War Chant. Wake up! But those things are those games. I know Jimbo says that you have to have them. They're awful. They're awful for the fans. They're awful for everyone. They don't do anything for your team at all. They essentially humiliate the other team. Where you could beat them 100-0 if you. There have been teams that have come in Doak Campbell the last 10 years that would have lost to Lincoln. That Florida State could have put triple digits up on easily.
Well, didn't God save one of those teams with like a lightning delay? Was it Savannah State?
Savannah State, yeah. And then a couple years ago, maybe it was Charleston Southern or somebody that was just awful. It's just pointless. It's just pointless. It's almost an insult to your fans that, hey, we're going to put such an awful product on this field, but we know you're going to come anyway. And, a lot of people didn't, but we know you're going to come anyway. We don't care that you want to see us play these big-time games. Or not even a big-time game. We don't care that you want us to see us play UAB. UAB would be a step up. Yeah. But we're going to play Charleston Southern, and we're going to play Savannah State, and we're going to play Delaware State. I mean, they are bad FCS teams. They are awful for FCS teams. They have no business being on the field with Florida State.
You know, it's a horrible game that everybody forgets. Who was it? Citadel they played after the Oklahoma State game, coming off the championship. That game was horrendous.
Yeah, but that was only like 35-6.
I know. That's the thing too.
Because that offense, they just ran the triple option.
Kept the ball away from them.
I think the thought maybe there was, hey, there's a chance we could see Georgia Tech. I think they were supposed to play Georgia Tech that year. Georgia Tech cycled off the schedule.
Okay.
Like Virginia Tech some school was added to the, maybe it was Louisville. I think that was Louisville's first year. So Georgia Tech was supposed to be on Florida State's schedule, and they got pushed off. So I think that's why Monk and Jimbo wanted to play the Citadel, because it would have been preparation for facing Georgia Tech's offense. So that kind of made sense.
All right.
But once that happened, once Georgia Tech came off, man, they'd have been better off with a bye week.
And it's a short week. Just give these guys 2 weeks off, man. You know.
But I mean, I guess watching them beat up on a no, it's not. I was going to say watching them beat up on a bad FCS team is better than no football at all, but it's not. It's not. Literally every time they would play a Charleston Southern or Savannah State or Delaware State, by the middle of the second quarter, everybody in the press box is like, man, this is a travesty. This is a joke. What are we doing here? Yeah. And it's the truth. And all the fans had to be saying that too. What are we doing? Why am I? This is a waste of a Saturday. But it's just not competitive. You want to see competition.
But then you can't pull games off the schedule and keep making the money. I just don't know.
I mean, you just gotta start, paying.
Having adult conversations.
Paying Purdue to come here.
Having adult conversations and realizing that this is just no one's winning in this. And then, I don't know, I mean, if you
play all conference games. Then they're contractually obligated to play you.
The crossover games are so great, though.
Yeah. But so are you got enough teams in the conference that you can. I just think, I hope they get away from it. I really do hope they get away from Delaware State's and Samford's. In the schools like that, because it does nothing it does nothing.
And then you have that 24-hour panic where some jerk on Reddit says that this team apparently didn't have enough scholarship players, so Florida State technically doesn't have enough wins to go to a bowl game.
That was so.
Who's that loser? I think it went to Stanford.
It was. I mean, I didn't pay that much attention to that, but it was all nonsense.
Shout out to Florida State though for once getting ahead of something and nipping it in the bud. I mean, I think they released something within 24 hours. Like, that's ridiculous. They're fully up to code. Good night to everybody.
Yeah, and we're going to go play in our bowl game. See you in Shreve. See you in the Shreve on December 26th.
Let's debate other topics that are very hotly buttons, but provide no really tangible solution. We're just going to keep you guys company. He's Corey Maslon's Wake Up War Chant, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Coming right back, wrapping it up.
You're locked in to Wake Up War Chant on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
What's up? Let's put a bow on this show. The Wednesday edition of Wake Up War Chant right here on 97.9 ESPN Radio. I'm Aslan. He's Corey. This show brought to you by For the Table Hospitality. Hey, man, how much time did you spend on coming up with Brady's name? Like, how much of a struggle is it between you and Shannon to come up and Brady? We're going to do Brady. We like it? You like it? Good. Let's do it. Brady. Put it
That's
up.
Weird. Somebody else just asked me that a couple of days ago. I can't remember who or why.
Who cares about them? I'm asking
Good point. Not long. I think once we found out it was going to be a boy, we didn't really. We probably went a couple of months without discussing it at all. And then I think we made a list of 5 names we both liked, and Brady was on both of our lists. And so we also talked about Brody and Braden. There was just something about the bruh with a Clark that sounded like it kind of rolled off the tongue. And Brady Clark sounds to me like a race car driver or a baseball player. But it just sounds like...
Way to limit his options, Dad.
Well, it's one or the other. I'm not, he's already behind the wheel, folks. So I got a booster seat for him, and I tied some sticks to his legs so he can reach the gas pedal.
I thought you had shifter paddles on the steering wheel. I thought you went big time on it so you didn't have to worry about the pedals.
No. You still got to touch the gas every now and again. So, but yeah, man, it wasn't. I was like, man, I think I like Brady, and she goes, yeah, I think I like Brady too, and then that was it. It wasn't an ordeal or grueling at all.
Yeah, I asked this because I don't know if this was a few weeks old, but it was on Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. They were talking to the LeVar Ball of college football. This guy, I don't even know what his name is. His last name's Brown. His son played for Notre Dame, but he changed
Saint Equanimous or whatever?
Equanimous. Yeah. Equanimous St. Brown. Their last name is really just Brown, but he added the Saint to it. But he gave these kids names, these like really powerful names, so that when they would hear their name called, I don't know if you have a powerful name, I guess apparently that builds character or something. Crazy thing is these kids are all well adjusted. They're all really good. So the crazy thing was they spend this whole segment basically making fun of this guy, and then at the end of it, it's why are you making fun of this guy? His sons are all smart. I guess the mother's German. She only speaks to the kids at home in German, so they're bilingual. One went to Notre Dame. I think one of them's committed to Stanford, and the other one I think is in the air and has got a pretty good list of schools he can go to as well. And like the dad's a little bit weird, obviously, but I'm like, why are we making fun of dads for trying to groom their kids into becoming big time athletes? I'm like, look.
Well, I would make fun of everyone for doing that, but for wanting them to have a name that stands out and exudes respect, that's fine. I don't know that there's causation. I don't know if there's correlation between having that kind of name, and I think it's more.
If the kid's name was Joey, though, like Joey Brown.
I think it's upbringing, man. I think that's.
But that's part of your upbringing, though, right? The nurture your name. I mean, you hear your name every single time. Every day.
But I mean, I think if you have a good home and it's nurturing and loving and drives you. You could be named Joe Smith and still make it. Yeah. And, I don't know if there's a causation.
But he won national title in Maryland, Joe Smith.
He did. No, he wasn't part of that team. But he was he was the number 1 overall pick. No, that was who was on that team? Steve Frant? No, it was Juan Dixon.
Juan Dixon was,
yeah. But no, Joe Smith wasn't on that team.
Sorry.
But he was Joe Smith. Yeah, man, he was awesome too. Yeah. He was really good in college.
The reason I asked this is because the Elite 11 released their roster. Elite 11, picks the 11 best quarterbacks in the entire nation.
Did the Florida State kid make it?
Yeah, he's on there.
Okay. What's his name again?
Sam Howell, which is a good name, okay. Strong name, but it's just crazy because all my friends that have kids have given their kids. I'm just like, is there anyone in their kid Jack? Are there going to be any Jeremys anymore or Ryans around? Or is that just done now? There's going to be no more Joeys. There's going to be no more Corys.
There's a lot of Bradens.
I got a buddy who's got a kid named Braden.
There's some Aidens out there.
I got a buddy who's got a kid named Aiden.
Yeah,
Like, what's going on? We can't name our kids Joe. There's no Nicks anymore?
What I wonder about...
No more Robbies?
Is there ever going to be another girl named Sharon or Esther? Those names are done.
Agnes?
They're done, right?
They're done forever.
I mean, there was a run in the 30s where there must have been an Agnes on every street corner and a Sharon, and they're gone. It's all Abigail or...
Madison.
Madison is one. I mean, I think there's like 2 or 3 in Brady's class named Madison. So, and Bailey. That's one, too.
Well, here are the names. Grant Gunnell.
Grant Gunnell?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Gunnell. I'm sorry, Gunnell. Grant Gunnell.
That's good for a quarterback.
I mean, come on. I mean, you have no choice. You have to be a quarterback.
Yeah.
Ryan Helinski.
Oh, I don't know. He's a fullback.
Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Florida State commitment. Graham Mertz. I mean, Mertz, you can't change that, but Graham. I don't think Graham
rolls real well with Mertz.
Here we go. Bo Nix.
Nix.
Freaking A right.
That's like he's in varsity. Wasn't he in Varsity Blues? I mean, that's the Varsity Blues remake.
Johnny Moxon. His name was Johnny.
Yeah.
If they come back with Varsity Blues, like what would Moxon? It wouldn't be Johnny Moxon.
It'd be that name.
It'd be Quinn.
Oh yeah,
Quinn Cooper.
It'd be Braden St. Brown.
Cooper McMillan. And then this is my favorite one though. The last guy, Spencer Rattler.
No,
swear to God.
Spencer Rattler
from Pinnacle, Arizona, 6'1", 173. About my build. Going to Oklahoma though.
Spencer Rattler.
Wow,
good for him.
You have no choice, though, right? Like, that kid is going to be a gunslinger. Spencer Rattler in the
So's the other kid, the Knicks.
Bo Nix.
Bo Nix.
But I always think of Patrick Nix. Bo Nix is going to Auburn, so maybe he is kin to Patrick Nix went to Georgia Tech?
No, he went to Auburn. He coached at Georgia Tech.
Okay. Maybe he's got to be
kin
to him.
He must be. I bet he is.
Yeah. Like, what do you call it?
Look that up.
What's like I like Brad Johnson's Max Johnson. Come on, Max Johnson. That's a quarterback.
Yeah, you're right.
Casey naming his kid Cade.
Cade Weldon.
That's a
good name.
That's a quarterback.
Really good name. Yeah.
Jameis Winston. Antonio didn't call him James. They didn't call him Jameis. I've never heard of Jameis.
I've never heard of Jameis in my life. He's the only Jameis I've ever heard of.
Best Jameis that's ever walked this planet
so far. Yeah.
So I don't know. That caught me by surprise.
Well, yeah. So maybe, I don't know that there's a causation there, a correlation with names and how they end up being. But hey,
it was just funny to see them try to make this guy into being a clown and trying to make him like Marinovich or LeVar Ball, and then it's like, hey, everybody, they're going to Notre Dame and Stanford. These guys are going to graduate with legit degrees, and they're smart and they're good. So why are we pointing and laughing at this family? That just kind of I thought it was ironic. 'Cause I'm like, are they going to kind of point out the fact that ultimately this guy's doing nothing wrong? His kids all seem well adjusted, and
are they? I mean, did they point that out?
No, at the end, at the last part of it, just like when at the end of the day, he's going to be a top draft pick, and I mean, I think
he wasn't though.
When Brian Gumbel does he got drafted though? I'm sure,
yeah, but
right?
late, later than anybody thought he would, like 6th or 7th round, I think.
What do I know? But I think in the postscript part, where Brian played the piano and Brian was like, "So Bernie, tell me."
He takes off his glasses,
yes,
and then he always puts them back on and then takes them off again.
Yeah.
Every question he takes off his glasses.
So Bernie, let's be honest, these kids are all pretty good. What do you think? Are they normal kids? And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I sat down with this family for a day," and he's like, "Yeah, these kids are normal teenagers." He's like, "And they've done a good job of raising the kids." And I'm like, well. We just did a whole story making fun of him, pretty much. It
was weird how Earl Woods, I know we got to go, but Earl Woods got such a bad rap back in the mid-'90s. Before Tiger really hit it, people knew that he was a maniacal dad, or he came across as a maniacal dad. And I don't think he was. I don't think he was a great father, because he had other fathers from another or other kids from another relationship that apparently just.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah, I might be making that up 100%. So maybe I should shut up. But I think Tiger has half siblings that weren't really a part of Earl's life after Tiger came along. So I don't think that makes Earl a great man or a great dad. But he obviously did.
He does have 3 children from a previous marriage.
And I think that they were like ostracized, like that they didn't have a relationship with him after Tiger. They didn't have a relationship with Tiger. I might be wrong. But Tiger swore by him and said that, we thought he was maniacal, but he was just, he's trying to make the kid tougher. I don't do that with Brady because I can't. I have too much, sympathy that I wouldn't want to drive my kid like that. And I think you have to have a kid that's like Tiger Woods to begin with. Like, they got to be dialed in differently. But Tiger enjoyed.
But do you think he was? I mean, he genetically came out like that? Or
I think that eventually you would, no matter who your dad is, even if he's a former Green Beret, you would eventually rebel against him if you didn't want to do it.
True.
I think Tiger just really enjoyed beating the crap out of everyone. Oh. It was his drug when he was 10 years old, and he fed off it.
Brady's way too nice.
Yeah, exactly right. I'm trying to get that out of him.
Yeah, come on.
So I keep, every time we're on the golf course.
Kindness is weakness, man.
That's what I tell him. It's like Cobra Kai.
Strike first.
No mercy. Show no mercy. Yeah. Beat the crap out of the kid.
Strike first, strike hard, show no mercy.
Yeah. That's a whole week of shows is being a sports dad.
Can we do that? Because I'm vicariously living through you, Corey. You're all I got, man. Brady's all I got. When he makes the All-Star team, I want to
make his All-Star tournaments first one's next weekend.
All right, man. Let's see. We'll root him on to victory.
But what's cool about my son, and then we'll leave on this note, he's probably going to miss most of his first tournament because he's acting in a play. He's acting in a Mary Poppins play that he's been rehearsing for months. He does that too. He's taking
thespian
performance class for like 2 or 3 years, and he finally got a speaking part, and it's a dancing, singing, acting part. So when he's not at baseball practice, he's at rehearsal for Mary Poppins, and he has a British accent.
Dude, save some girls for the rest of the guys in his class, right? Brady. Jeez, man.
I like that he's well rounded because he is a sports nut. He's almost too obsessed with it, but he's a Renaissance man. He also sing and dance man too.
Brady St. Clark. That sounds like a first round pick.
Yeah, Brady St.
That sounds like a first-round pick.
Yeah, it sure does.
Thanks for listening, folks. To Wake Up War Chant, Jeff Cameron coming up at 3. Oh, and yeah, real quick, folks, we're not going to have a show tomorrow, but we will be back on Friday. Talk to you then.
The Sod Cemetery, Osceola and Renegade, and, of course, the War Chant. These are great traditions known to all Seminole fans. If you are a card-carrying, garnet and gold-wearing Nole, don't you deserve a site that is truly dedicated to covering FSU sports? WarChant.com's staff has over 50 years of experience covering the Seminoles. WarChant.com is the only FSU outlet with a full-time recruiting analyst in Tallahassee. Plus, it's the only site with a full-time videographer and a daily podcast, 100% dedicated to FSU sports. Why act like Gators and settle for second best? WarChant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.